What if failure didn't have to hurt? Now, we obviously can't do anything about what happens when we don't do our absolute best, or when simply somebody's disappointed with us, regardless of how we've performed or what we've accomplished. But we have so much power to change the way our brain is in relationship with the idea of failure. There's an old adage that says that failure really stands for the first attempt in learning. And that's one of my favorite frameworks for failure. Because you see, we are actually biologically hardwired to make mistakes. Our brain actually has a specific brain wave in it, in the information processing sequence, that is designed to go through the roof when we make a mistake so that our brain remembers it and helps us not do that same thing again. Now, of course, sometimes we get in loops, and we do have an entire video on cyclical maladaptive patterns. So if you find that you're making the same mistake over and over again, especially in relationships, there's probably something else going on. But in our day-to-day lives, failure is a part of life. And actually, failure is a critical part of success. How often does an infant fall down as it's transitioning to learn to become a toddler and start to wobbly walk? Or even hit its belly as it's starting to crawl, right? A lot. It has to. Every time the infant falls or the toddler ends up on their bum, their brain is learning how to be better going forward. Failure is hardwired into our biology. Our egos and our self-brain have a really hard time with failure. But our brains and our bodies learn from it and appreciate it. So I'd like to invite you to start thinking of a new way of being in relationship with your failures. What if every time we failed, we were simply learning to be stronger and wiser? What if failure was just a way to ensure that we were learning what we needed to learn, rather than it being a part of our core identity? Because in truth, that's all it is. When we fail, if we give ourselves permission to lean in with curiosity and learn about the failure holds no more power than a book of libraries does over our identity of self. A book of libraries simply is a wealth of knowledge waiting to be experienced. So embrace failure, learn from it, and set your ego aside, because we're actually stronger when we fall down and when we learn from the fall.